Nani, మీరు నక్కు అబద్ధం చెప్పరు. ఇది సూపర్ హీరో సినిమా. I don't know what the problem with movie releases and the main cinema hall chains like PVR, Inox, and Cinepolis is, but they really need to sort their deals out with movie producers. I thought the problems were restricted to Tamil cinema, with massive films like Ryan and Tangalan barely getting nationwide releases, but now a commercial Telugu film like Saripodhaa Sanivaaram getting such a restricted and dispersed release compelled me to travel and see a show in another state. It's the price you pay for the job you do, but what's more important is the question, was the journey close to Greater Noida worth it? It sure was. The film was advertised by Nani throughout the marketing run as a simple film with a Vivek Athreya spin to it. And I must confess that it's the perfect way to describe the film, as it does take a standard good versus evil narrative, or when people rise against atrocities committed by those in positions of power, but adds such an interesting and unique flavor to the mix that it rises above the expected mass commercial Telugu template. The movie focuses on Suryah, played by Nani, who is an LIC agent by day and a brewing vigilante by night, constantly writing names of those people in his diary who have angered him throughout the week, only to burst out with violence on a Saturday and teach those people a lesson. With the CI of the locality, Inspector Daya, played by SJ Surya, causing absolute havoc, especially for the inhabitants of Sukalapalam, Surya is privy to such gross misuse of power and makes it his mission to teach the inspector a lesson. Why does Surya only project his anger on a Saturday? Why is Inspector Daya harming so many innocent people? All of this forms the basic outline of Saripodhaa Sanivaaram. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theaters or not. The underwhelming aspects: indulgent running time and loose ends. Vivek Athreya in several moments reminded me of Anurag Basu, a creator I love, and the issues he often deals with his running time. The issue is that some filmmakers fall in love with the world that they have created so much that they believe every single element of the world, including several of its subplots, should exist, and not only exist, but deserve to be explored as well. The running time of this film is 2 hours and 50 minutes, and when you think about the film in retrospect, 15 to 20 minutes could have easily been trimmed for a film that has a pretty basic outline from a plot point of view. This is a tricky situation. I'll tell you why. Because Vivek, through his screenplay, brilliantly ties several rather innocuous moments to affect the larger scheme of things, making you think that everything is important. But the case of goons that are dealt with on a Saturday initially in the film are reintroduced and don't really play an active part of the plot. There is also an angle with Nani's sister, played by Aditi Balan, which I believe was the weakest portion from an emotional point of view. I also believe that the case of the main conflict regarding the land of Sukalapalam is told in an extremely rushed fashion, not making you truly realize the gravity of its troubled history. In many instances, the film builds up your adrenaline for the ultimate face-off between Nani and SJ Surya, and momentarily takes a break for some familiar time. This abrupt halt in the proceedings could have been more focused on the main conflict, and I believe could have made the edit more tight and not disengage the viewer momentarily. Abrupt editing and how to end the film. There are two cases where I believe the makers were just confused on what to do from a stylistic point of view regarding the otherwise technically brilliant action scenes. The introductory action scene when Surya is teaching a lesson to goons is staged extremely well, but the sequence often cuts away to stylistic shots of Surya. This almost takes the shape of a music video rather than wholly investing in the action choreography. The scene itself is brilliant, but the makers execute a fast cut editing pattern that takes away from how brilliantly the action has been captured. The best action scene, which should have been consistent with the film, is an ambush scene in Surya's house, where he protects his family members. It's the perfect marriage between brilliant visuals and Jake's Bijoy absolutely cooking like a boss. The film's climax fight sequence had all the potential to be one of the most epic battles, and while Murli G's cinematography captures the same, especially through a drone shot that showcases all the madness, it abruptly ends, making me wish for the brawl to have continued. It's a mixed feeling that I have with the editing pattern of this film's climax. It absolutely puts you on the edge of your seat and you want it to continue, and it just abruptly ends. Thankfully, this doesn't take away from the several elements of the film that work wonders. The good. Jake's Bijoy cooked and how. If there is one thing that people will unanimously tell you about King of Kotha is that several elements of the film may have not worked, but my god did Jake's Bijoy absolutely kill it with his background score. I can't tell you how much of a contributing factor he is to elevate Saripodhaa Sanivaaram. The introduction shots of both Nani and SJ Suryah are proof, as it instantly caused mania in theatres, organically generating cheers from the audience. There are several instances where Jake's just perfectly encapsulates the mood of the characters and the circumstances in the film. You can't help but feel exhilarated and pumped, wanting to join in on the brawl Suryah engages in. This is the case where the background score did not take over but perfectly fit in the sequences of events. One of the highlights of the film, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Vivek Athreya turns the commercial template. The thing that became very clear to me after watching this film and Ante Sundara Nikki is that Vivek Athreya as a creator just cannot make a generic template film. If it's a romantic comedy, he will bring his own spin of quirky, whimsical madness to it. Similarly, what is presumably a mass commercial template film, Vivek has integrated his own charm to the movie, and it allows for a unique experience versus just another weekend at the movies with a starlight film. You know, I had asked Nani what's the unique Vivek touch to the film, as I saw hints of superhero elements in the movie, and he denied it. I don't know whether Nani was trying to gaslight me so that I get surprised in theatres, but the film, literally in its presentation style, is like a superhero film. Suryah becomes the hope for the voiceless. His call on Saturday to take action is like a bat sign in the sky. It's his moment where he can finally transform from Bruce Banner to Hulk. All the days otherwise are spent in suppressing his anger and assimilating with society. It has all the elements of a graphic novel. What's also lovely, as I previously said in this review, is that Vivek will present random pieces of information making you think this is so inconsequential, and ties it in the plot in the most entertaining way possible. The cast. I think this was an absolute cakewalk for Nani as an actor. There is a simplicity to Suryah that Nani aces. He almost takes the role of Clark Kent at his corporate job, towing the line and being as invisible as he possibly can be. His interaction with Priyanka Mohan playing the role of Charulata has an inherent sweetness that did not lag the film for me. I know many people are going after Priyanka Mohan that her character caused for an excessive boredom in the film, but I beg to differ, as I believe Vivek's payoff regarding the connection between Suryah and Charu is worth the wait. The movie references during their dates was such a highlight for me. I think Priyanka did a commendable job with what she was offered. However, Nani aces the simmering anger that bursts in a no-holds-barred manner. Usually in commercial Telugu films, I complain about two things: the inconsequential role of women, mostly being reduced to flower pot roles, and the cringy comedy. But the film is devoid of both. The comedy track regarding SJ Suryah and Murli Sharma works so well in the film that it had the entire theatre in splits. I usually dismiss Murli Sharma's comedic roles in Telugu films as nothing but fluff, but he was absolutely hilarious in this movie. The film aces the golden rule: if you make the villain of your film compelling, entertaining, and more interesting than your main character, you have cracked a film success. And my god, I cannot stop raving about SJ Suryah. SJ Suryah is a menace. This man has been on an absolute roll since the last 3 or 4 years. I feel bad for him because Indian 2 slightly blemished his amazing streak since the pandemic, but to label SJ Suryah as entertaining in this film would be an understatement. He is so bloody good in this film. I was genuinely in awe of his screen presence, comic timing, and just the unpredictable nature of his body language. He could be relaxed in one instance and suddenly burst with rage and be in your face. Nani was not lying when he said, after watching the final edit of the film, he and Vivek thought, who the hell other than SJ Suryah could have pulled off such a role? There was skepticism that a sense of lethargy will set in with SJ Suryah and his presence in several commercial projects, but it could not be further from the truth, being one of the absolute highlights of this extremely entertaining and fun commercial Telugu film. Who knew you could have so much aura while strutting in a beat-up Maruti 800? Is the film devoid of demerits? Not at all. But did I have an absolute ball in the theatre with a packed audience? You bet. It's the Vivek Athreya touch to the commercial template that sets the foundation, and Nani and SJ Suryah's performance really just became an icing on the cake. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below of what you thought about Saripodhaa Sanivaaram. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.